What's up, guys? It's your boy Trooper back at it again with another vid. And in today's vid, we're going to be talking about why I hated The Last Jedi, or more specifically, the parts of the movie I didn't like. Now, this is a two-parter. I also did a video on what I loved about the movie, and you can check that out by looking at the link in the description or the link in the comment section. But for this half, we're talking about the negatives of the movie. So number one, let's go ahead and talk about Luke Skywalker. So yeah, after watching The Force Awakens and this big build up to Luke, The Last Jedi pretty much throws him to the side. The Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy and the Luke that we get here just feels like two completely different characters with different morals. I mean, we have the Luke from Return of the Jedi, this Luke with purpose and a drive, who is tempted by the dark side but able to rise above it, who sees the good in even the most evil people like his father Darth Vader. To Luke in Battlefront 2 with the same purpose and drive, to this Luke here who seems more counterproductive. You can tell they were trying to go for a Ben Kenobi / Yoda vibe, but what makes Luke's character so unique is that he was different and better than those old Jedi teachings, straying away from training with Yoda to save his friends against Vader and Sidious, something I feel deep down Luke would never lose. So to see this Luke throughout the movie not portraying the Luke we all grew up with kind of didn't sit well, especially after all we seen him go through. On top of that, he didn't really get any lightsaber or force scenes like a lot of us going to the movie thought we would see. During the ending of the movie, we got Luke's force projection battle with Kylo, and the part when all the guerrilla walkers shot him and he didn't flinch. That was cool, but again, when you find out it was just a projection and that he never left his planet, it kind of took away from that. And on top of that, he dies. Wow. It would have been cooler if he actually died fighting on the planet with Kylo, but no, Luke was too scared and stayed on the planet to fight him with a force projection and then just dies there. Really? I mean, it's kind of poetic, but really? Luke is the main character of the original Star Wars trilogy. How does he barely get any good screen time, whereas Han Solo and Leia get more? Really, I'm very serious. How does the main character of the original Star Wars trilogy get this treatment? Does Disney not like Mark Hamill or something? I'm very confused how the main hero we grew up watching in the original trilogy is just thrown to the side as if he was just a side character. I'm sorry, but they did Luke terrible. They really did. Now, going to number 2 on the list, it's Rey's powers. Now, she's never truly trained, yet is portrayed to be able to do everything like she is already trained. I mean, we had Anakin Skywalker, one of the people with the most midichlorians ever, and he was trained by freaking Jedi Masters around other Jedi for many years and still couldn't do all the things it seems like Rey is able to do with no formal training. I still love me some Rey, don't get me wrong, I love me some Rey, but she seems too untrained to be doing these feats in the movie that doesn't fit with Star Wars until now. Heck, she dang near beats Luke. Bruh, what the freak is going on? Now, going from number 3, now, I don't hate Canto Bight. It was a pretty unique planet with some good politics that I'm sure is expanded upon in the comics or novels, but I feel like they spent a bit too much time here with the subplot. If the movie was in a longer time span like the other movies, then the length wouldn't have been too much of an issue. But this movie is literally within a 12-hour time span. Spending so many hours of that on this movie seemed kind of counterproductive with all the stakes going in and everyone pretty much worrying about that. So this one is kind of a hard one, since I like that it was unexpected, and I'm sure that he'll be in the next film, but Snoke died in this film, and we didn't learn a dang thing about him. He was hyped up in the last film, and even in this one, but to see him die without knowing anything about him kind of sucked. I shouldn't be forced to read novels or comics or play the games to learn something about one of the most powerful people in a Star Wars movie, but I feel like that's what Disney may be going for on this one. Again, I'm pretty positive we will see him again in the next movie. I'll learn more about him, but not knowing anything about him currently before he died kind of sucked. The funny thing about this, though, is that this kind of plays into how the prequels did with their villains. Like, they have these very cool bad guys in each film who just dies in that film in a not so glorious way. Like Darth Maul. Now, okay, he actually gets to have an epic fight, but dies in the first movie. Though technically, in the novels and animated series, he's able to survive. We have good old Jango in the second movie, who has some nice action parts but gets sliced in the head by Mace. And then we get good old General Grievous in the third film, who does get a battle end but dies in a somewhat unclimatic way. So I'm guessing with this movie they just wanted to follow suit. So for number 5, let's talk about Captain Phasma. She didn't do anything in The Force Awakens, and when the trailers and all the news from the actors, etc., said she was going to have a bigger role in The Last Jedi, I was hooked. I was like, okay, she's going to do something in this movie, and I'm ready to see it. But nope. She just shows up at the end to fight Finn for like a couple minutes and then dies again. Like, wow. Really, wow. Like, what was the point of all these interviews and build up from the director and actors for her part to be so small? Like, you could literally skip her whole section and it would not have any impact whatsoever in how the movie progressed or ended. Like, wow, they did Luke and Phasma bad. Like, seriously. So, for number 6, let's talk about the Knights of Ren. Or should I say the lack thereof from them. I mean, they're barely mentioned in this movie by Luke in passing, and that's all we get mentioned for them. I mean, what happened? In The Force Awakens, we get to see them looking all fresh in the flashback scene, but in this movie, it looks like they just disappeared. I'm hoping we get to see them in the next movie, but I feel like something should have happened with them on screen, even for a brief period, or heck, even a hint on where they are now. So yeah, guys, these are some of the reasons why I hated The Last Jedi. A lot of these characters and things were hyped up in the first movie to just get downgraded in the next one. Like, there were so many ways to keep the same movie, but to not hype it up at all from the last movies and interviews that I'm sure would have caused less criticism. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the vid. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the other video on why I love The Last Jedi by clicking the annotation or the link in the description and comment section below. Also, too, let me know the reasons why you hated The Last Jedi.